The IFL championship game to date. A lot of upset wins. Two teams playing their best football. The best teams standing are here today. When I score, I go for two. I don't believe in overtime. Put your hands up in the sky. Coming inside, towards the goal line. Struggle away and scored.
Wide right. Now Tyler King has the football. Trying to run it back to Jacksonville. Tyler King with the lead. Tyler King 20, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Sharks win. Tyler King puts the midfield goal.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Inside the Sharks Gameday edition of the program. As this week we preview the home opener of your Jacksonville Sharks as we play host to the Vegas Nighthawks. Alongside me are my two partners of crime in this episode from the West Side, Bob Book.
What's going on, guys?
And somewhere in South Side, Justin Renfro.
I think he's Beaches.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in the beaches now? He upgrading on us? I see how
he's like living the high life out there at the beaches. He's got some mansion out there. That's where Gordon Ramsay and all his people come and hang out.
No.
No. The soup is dry. No, we won't get into that. Well, gents, I know last week we had a bye week, some interesting activities around the IFL. We'll break down a lot of that as we progress in the episode. But before we get everything going forward, Bob, what is the laundry list and what do we have to go over today?
So the very first thing is the super fans are raffling off a helmet just like this. You're not getting my helmet, but they are raffling off a helmet just like this. So make sure you buy your tickets. It's going to end Monday as long as we have good participation. As long as we have good participation, we're looking to hit a certain figure. All the money goes to the super fans. It's one ticket for $1 or 25 tickets for $20. All this will go to the super fans, which then turns around and we do little things like travel bags, cook them meals and different things for the players, little things that the players really love. Honestly, the Superfan program is how we got this guy right here on the show, because that's when I met him and formed that relationship, and it was through the Superfan. It was me messing with him about being a Miami player. That's probably the first thing I said to him.
Or is it him, or was it him drinking the colorful drinks out on the wing? I don't know.
No, that just happened after. Talking about practice before the ice tubs. But yeah, so that's the first thing. The helmet raffle.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I saw it the other day.
Oh, I got to come back. I got to get back.
I got to come back. So the helmet's the first thing. The second thing is I was just told today the merchandise stand in the arena will actually be moved. It will not be in its normal spot. It will actually be behind section 100. So if you're looking to get some merch,
They
section
got
100.
those jerseys too now, right?
They got replica jerseys too. They got a lot of new merch, so make sure you stop by there and check that out. Also, they have to every season ticket holder. The first 4 games is your bring a friend. So you remember you get 2 per seat, I believe it is. If you want to bring somebody to the game, bring them. I mean, that's how we grow this sport.
Yeah.
So I think that answer is yes, Skylar. He said, is that where Iceman? I think so. I remember when I went bull riding, they had a big old merch stand over there behind section 100. So that might be the new spot now. But it's section 100. It's on the good side, Skylar. You have to come to the other side of the arena.
Yeah, you got to walk on the
Good
other side of
side.
the arena.
From where you sit. Then the next update is really special. I don't know if any of you guys caught. If you didn't catch it today, one of the owners of the Shark, Nick Fier, is a good friend of the program, and Leo's grandfather was on Action News Sports Network, and they clipped it and put it on the Sharks page. So make sure you go watch that. Give you a little more insight to that. But the new update for Leo, we have hit 25,000. It is actually $26,200. So keep going. That's halfway to the goal. Remember, they're going to you still have the 50-50. So you still have the 50-50 to add that. You can buy that digitally as well. You don't have to be local. So half of the 50-50 is going to go to the Leo Foundation. Half goes to the winner. Whatever they chose to do with it, they do with it. So that's the updates pretty much that I have as far as the update. And then Shark Bites was the only other thing. That'll be tomorrow on Action News. Jack's at 7:00. And then if you are not going to the game Sunday, for some reason you're going to sit at home and not go to the game Sunday night, then you can watch this guy do the Keller and the play-by-play on Action News Sports Network. All home games will be televised on that live. So that's pretty cool. Get a lot more exposure to a lot of people in Jacksonville. But if you can, come out to the game. It's going to be a special night in the home opener. Make sure you call. You can still get season tickets, 904-621-0700. But you want to make sure you get to the game. It's going to be a special night. They're going to honor Leo and his family. 4th and Goal is going to be there. And there's some few other surprises are going to happen. But that's pretty much it for the update as of now.
All right. Boom.
And before should we just go right to our break before we start breaking down all the action?
The indoor war is much better than last year. I don't know.
Huh?
That's a question. Well, I'm a fan of it. Just ask Bob. I didn't even want to play it last year. Ever since I started playing it, we started winning. Just saying.
The video this year is much better. You actually see players instead of a desert and a truck and all that, which is really nice.
That is a good part.
Yeah. But
before we kick it off of the episode, breaking down some IFL action, talk about the Vegas Nighthawks, 3 key players to watch. And, of course, your info will start digging into. He has to do some homework because they are coming into town on Sunday. Tickets are available. We'll be back after this break as we break down Week 3 of the Indoor Football League with the Vegas Nighthawks. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, Inside the Sharks Game Day. Want to talk about some football, gents? Thank you to our sponsors, Blaze and Everdure.
Yeah, most definitely.
Well, we are a football show. We got to talk about some football.
Yep, most definitely.
But let's recap let's not fully recap last weekend. Let's just point out one game. This past Monday, we had our live show with the Leo's family with 4th and Goal, which we're doing great with that. There was also an IFL game that took place that night, and it was pretty good.
Electric.
How it looked like it was a one-sided game, and it looked like San Diego was about to put it away. Vegas comes crawling back, ends it on a very electric way to end it. I think it's one of the biggest chokes in the league in history. I have to look more into that, but
Dang, don't call it all that.
I don't know, 38-18 or something like that. Come on.
Yeah, they were up by 20 points at one time.
Usually 22 points, 21 points. The game's in the bag.
Well, actually, I guess if you do think about it, it is. I think it was a lot of early season mistakes. You just not tackling well. It was more of that. It wasn't like guys were just blowing assignments and things like that. And then also something that I noticed, I think the quarterback got a little tired. He in the second half, his stamina.
Nate Davis?
Yeah, he's big. He was big.
Hey, don't down the big guys, because there's some kickers out there that look like they.
No, I'm not saying it.
Just you could deuces.
They had him moving. Vegas had him flushed out the pocket a lot, and I think that affected him.
And that's not his style of game. He wants to stay on his spot, and he wants to deliver from the pocket.
He did have a couple good scrambles, though. He had that scramble for a touchdown. And I was like, dang, he looked like a fullback at the goal line.
I really thought the coaching from San Diego in the second half was a big part. It seemed like what got them there in the first half, it seems like they weren't doing that in the second half. Like, I expected them to come out, run the ball, take the air out the ball, and get out of there.
I feel like Vegas made the adjustment, though.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give Vegas some credit.
They made the adjustment to make them stop running the ball. I feel like,
but when you're up by that many points at halftime, usually you should be the first two drives if you have the ball.
Yeah,
you just eat as much clock as you can. Doesn't matter if you score points. Just try and take at least 8 to 10 minutes off the clock with 2 possessions. And San Diego's gonna do it.
In that way, yeah. Their operation as coaches, yeah. I guess Bob, what Bob's saying is right, yeah. They messed that up. The operation, and again too, coaches are human too. It's early in the season too. Hey, I bet you in the playoffs they'll come run the ball and eat the play clock and figured that out by then. So,
but speaking of last week's game, I'm going to ask both of you, what game besides Vegas and San Diego stood out as maybe an intriguing game? Either you're impressed by one team, very shocked by another team. What you thought about last week, Bob?
I'll go and tell you, I was impressed by the Fisher Freight. I was expressed, because being that was their first game ever, they had some veteran guys, but that's still all new for them. It's still all new to see them go out there. Now, I'm not high in Northern Arizona. I've said that from the get-go this year. I don't see them doing well this season. I see them down there with Iowa in the bottom of the league, is my personal opinion. But the quarterback for Fisher Freight, he was a lot more mobile than I thought. He had some good wheels on him. And they got some good things. And looks like they're going to have a packed stadium for their first home game tomorrow night. I mean, it only holds 7,500, but if you pull up Ticketmaster, you look at it and you're like, man, it's pretty packed out. But that would be my surprise is Fisher Freight. Also, just as Skylar said, Tucson didn't look good at all, and I expected them to be a little bit better.
Is it because they didn't look good, or was you think just Arizona is just that far ahead of them?
It could be a little bit of both. It's probably a little bit of both.
Arizona looks good
They do.
on both sides, all three phases of the game. They look good. Justin, what stood out to you? What impressed you in week 2 of the IFL?
I only tuned in for Vegas because that's who we're playing. So I tuned in for that whole game one day. So that's who I watched. So in that game, I was really impressed with San Diego and thought, they had an impressive team. But Vegas, I think the guys stepped up, and like we talked about at the beginning of the season, they had a bunch of acquisitions that had to start to gel together. And there's only one football, and I think at the end of that game, that offense started to click. Houdini runs the ball in and then gets the 2-point conversion. So, seeing him pop up, that was a guy who was here in Jacksonville. And then, also seeing Terry, we were talking about it earlier. He looks a little bigger. So things that I was kind of saying I was worried about, I think after seeing our defense in mass, I'm excited about this Vegas matchup. And I think this will be fun. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. They're going to fight to the end. People play hard when they come to different teams. So, you're going to get the best out of Terry and all that comes with that as well. So I think we're going to have a good, interesting match, but I'm definitely excited. I think we got the team to compete. And, again, you got to watch Johnson, the quarterback. He's electric. I think the first touchdown was him. The 20-yard, probably a 20-ish yard scamper. So, we got to watch him. That'll be something to see. I don't think Mass didn't have a quarterback that is that elusive. So that's going to be something. But then I'm also excited to see that because that will put that quarterback head-to-head with Ross. And so seeing him go head-to-head and Ross is a thumper, I'll see that. See if he keeps getting up. See if he doesn't start sliding, and also see if he doesn't sit in the pocket and throw the ball. So, looking good and excited for this game coming up.
Well, speaking about this week's game, let's see what the Eastern Conference is shaping up so far after 2 weeks in the season. The top 4 teams: Quad City at first place at 2-0. Jacksonville is second, tied for second with Fisher and Tulsa at 1-0. Our tiebreaker is the 1-0 in the division. Green Bay, 5th place at 1-1. Iowa, 6th at 0-1. And hello, Mass, 0-2, number 7 in the Eastern Conference.
Mass has help on the way, it looked like. They signed a quarterback.
They got a good Harper who played for Bay Area last year.
Yep.
He's dynamic. He's like a Jerome Johnson. He's not going to beat you by his arm, but he is going to use his feet to keep plays alive. And those quarterbacks are just as deadly in the IFL game.
Yeah,
and he has experience.
It's very useful to have with people slanting and being able to blitz now too. I'd be interested to see if Mass doesn't pick up Shane Simpson, also from Bay Area last year. He had a lot of touchdowns, and for him to not be on the team, surprising.
Well, he might be somewhere else, or he might be on vacation, or he might not want to play. So we won't know. Just keep an eye on GoIFL.com for transactions around the IFL, the updates on any organization. But let's get going on this week's opponent, the Vegas Nighthawks. They won their first game of the season in San Diego, defeating the San Diego Strike Force 48-41 in an excitement game, comeback game. They are led by none other than quarterback Jerome Johnson, league MVP last year, and also a very familiar name returning to the Shark Tank, Tamorian Terry from Florida State University. Antonio Winbush, a dynamic running back who is explosive. And on the defensive side of the ball, 3 names that we want to keep an eye on. Claude Davis, he's a veteran. He's been around the league for not just IFL, but many other indoor leagues for a long time. And Maurice Jackson, big man up the middle. And the linebacker, Cole, can hit people. That is the 3 players that you spot for the Vegas Nighthawks that make plays. Also, they have a guy named James Caesar, DB, had 5 deflections, had a good game against San Diego as well. Very defensive sound. They made adjustments in the second half. They looked like they were tired in the first half against San Diego, made adjustments, and they reversed roles. They made San Diego earn it, and then Jerome Johnson did Jerome Johnson type of things, especially that last play of the game, throwing that deep ball for a TD. Bob, let's do something different. Keys to the game for our Sharks against
We're
Vegas.
going right into keys.
Or you want to break down? We can break down even the game.
No, we
more.
go right into keys.
Okay.
I mean, I think the key to the game is keeping Jerome Johnson in the pocket. I'm going to look at Wilkins. If Wilkins can get a good push right down the middle, and Rice and Lyles can crash the end, then that's what they need to do. And if he does run, then you need to make sure, he feels a hit when he runs. I think you got to keep him in the pocket. To me, that's the number one key. And you got to tackle sound. You can't do like happened Monday night. Is they had him sacked in the backfield, like Justin talked about earlier, and the guy didn't wrap up. And what did he go for? A 25-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Like you sack him there, that changed a lot of momentum there. That probably would have made them try to kick it. And their kicker did not do too good last week. He missed all of his extra points, and it wasn't even close. So I expect that we'll probably see a new kicker this week as well. Rent a kicker or something. But to me, that's the number one key. If I'm just only going to give you one key, you got to keep Johnson in the pocket.
Gap sound, don't over pursue.
And you got to be careful. You got to be careful because in this new rule set, you can stunt, twist, and do all that. You got to be careful running that against this quarterback because if you give him a lane, he's going to make you pay.
Yeah.
And so that Bob took that was what I was going to say. My key was you got to make sure that the right defensively. We got to make the right calls. And what I was thinking about with making that point is Johnson's going to move around, all that. One thing that I was really watching the game on Monday and thinking about the Sharks versus Mass, looking at Rice. He had great penetration, and I loved him. But one thing I did notice and one thing that really stuck out to me, a lot of his penetration always came with him going to the inside. A guy like Johnson will get around that tackle, and now he's got all that real estate because he's broken contain because the defensive end is rushing in. So I think that will be a point of emphasis. Clay will probably have some things figured out to kind of help them to still have a two-way go because you don't want to – he was so effective in that first game. You don't want to shut him down. So I'm sure, like now they can wrap the nose, and we were talking about Wilkins. He can get more of a level rush and be able to kind of flatten out. You could also spy the linebackers. So different things they can do, but I think that's going to be key to watch with Rice making that inside move a lot and how that Johnson chooses to adjust that because they watch film too, so he's going to see him coming in and think, hey, boom. I can always get outside of the pocket to my right and be able to extend the play. So that's something to watch in the game, seeing how that affects extended plays. And, like you guys were saying, he likes to run, but if that deep ball's there, we saw that a lot last year. If that deep ball's there, he's going to load it up and chuck it. So we'll see how that goes and see how they react.
The one thing about if he does try to throw the go ball or the jump ball Terry, which, that's something you see that they did already in week one. One thing I do like about our corners this year are they're 6'2", 6'3", and they're physical.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's going to be something. Main thing, my second key would be physical. Physical, fly around like you got your hair on fire because you're going to have to. And if you could be physical, I think we could be in a good spot. I'm also interested to see if they do something, if Clay has something up his sleeve as far as spying Johnson. Does he maybe have a player or something that you might see that normally is a DB come up and play like a spy position, and does he spy and then you still cut Hatcher loose? So, that's something that I'm going to interested to see how that all plays out on there.
Yeah, it's it'll be interesting because he's a heck of an athlete, but I think our defense can play with them. It's not like we should be scared or worried. Like it's a good defense, and I think the biggest thing is they got to realize they got to play to the end. And on the defensive side of the ball, Davis made a lot of plays. His name was being called a lot in that game, so he's definitely, Dom and them they're gonna have their work cut out. That guy's gonna come. He looked like he comes pretty much most of the plays, especially if it's a passing situation. He's trying to get his sack.
And the other thing is they moved their D-line guys around. I saw Claude Davis playing end, and next play I saw him playing nose tackle. So they moved their guys around quite frequent. So you're gonna see Dom up on Davis. You're gonna see Harris, the center, up on Davis, and he might even go over on Leon's side, because they do have a really good linebacker in Calhoun that can go from wall to wall, has the good speed and good range. He's more of to me, more of a cover type of a linebacker as opposed to Hatcher, where he's going to be more of a run downhill. Now Calhoun can do that, but I think his strength is really covering and taking away space and not giving open field to running backs and receivers.
I agree with both of you guys. If you look at this game, and you remember when they came in this Shark Tank last year, everyone's, well, we played them 2 times last year. We had the fluke of an onside kick that went their way. We almost beat them there in Vegas, like in week 2 last year. Came here a couple weeks later, they got the advantage. But you look at that Shark team compared to this Shark team, it's night and day difference. Like the receiving core is upgraded, the quarterback position is upgraded, and the offensive line is upgraded. I look at it this way. The defensive focus is going to be a chess piece to contain that offense. It's very hard to contain those players on Vegas. They're a damn good organization, a damn good team. I look at Sharks and I look at, last year, our defense kept us in all those games. Our offense couldn't, get over the hump. I believe if our defense keeps us in this game, our offense is going to be matching theirs because we have a very talented offense. You look at our running back room and our receivers. Like, if we go score for score against them, I like our chances because I think our defense has that capability to get that one or two stops that we didn't get the last time we met them. My key to the game is when you get turnovers, capitalize on them and don't give the ball up. We gave up 3 turnovers against Mass. Two of them were like you could have threw those balls away, or they were forced. Reduce that, capitalize on their mistakes. Because one thing I was against San Diego, Vegas made mistakes and San Diego capitalized on it. The problem is they didn't continue it. The game play in the second half, I don't know what San Diego was thinking. I look at this game right here, quarterback battle between Barker and Johnson. We didn't have that status of a quarterback last year when they came here, VyStar last year. Now we do. This is basically like Sunday Night Football, marquee matchup. Look at the QBs. And both teams are solid receiving-wise. I think it's going to come down to who capitalizes on mistakes. And the team that does that the most wins. I think these 2 teams are pretty even. And Bob, you've mentioned it. You've mentioned it in the preseason. All the people who do all the power rankings are predicting Vegas Sharks in the championship game. So we could be previewing a championship game. So does this game live up to that bill of the preseason expectations? We'll find out on Sunday night in the Shark Tank.
Yeah.
And both teams, we're pretty healthy. Vegas has a couple guys that are a little banged up that may not play, but still, the QBs are there. And both QBs can make both teams and make offense offensive plays, make the players better.
Mhm.
Like you said, don't be over aggressive on defense, gap sound, and don't play into their advantage. You do that, it's a long day, because I've seen some games with Jerome Johnson last year just take over based on his wheels.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
you can't allow him to do that. Now, something I want to see us do, I want to see us run the ball. I felt like against Mass, we should have ran the ball a lot more, especially in that second half with that lead.
Yes.
I want to see run the ball, and I want to see get the ball in your playmakers' hands. Now, it's tough because you have a lot of playmakers to feed the ball, but Tyler King needs to touch the ball more than just returning kicks.
Yeah.
He is dynamic, and when he's in his groove, and you see him bopping around and jumping up on the boards after making a big play, he's tough to stop. I would love to see the Russian attack of Vander, Jimmy Robinson, and Tyler King. I would love to see them run the ball a lot more, and then I would like to see Caleb take what the defense gives you. Don't force the ball deep into double coverage. They got a guy open on 10-yard line. Take the 10-yard pass. With
the
these
clock.
guys, with these receivers, they make one guy miss. It could be a 20-yard gain real quick. But that's two things I want to see us do that didn't really do in the first game against Mass.
Yeah. That's a good point about get the check down routes. I look at it this way: take the check down, eat the clock, because you want to limit their time on the field on offense, because they can score with the quickness. I think
And
they're like one of the high scoring offenses last year.
Yeah, I think they were. I mean, he was MVP for a reason.
Yeah.
Although, in my opinion, Cashinova should have got it over Johnson.
Yeah,
But that's my opinion. But Sam had like an all-time offense in San Antonio, excuse me, last year. But that's what I mean. I want to see a three-headed running field like we've been talking about. You talked about wanting to play bully ball. Let's play bully ball. I think this is a perfect game to try to play bully ball at home. And I just think we're built for that. I think that offense can built for that. And then you can get the ball to Stoshak. You get the ball to Ashley, who, to me, like I've been saying, he had the best training camp out of pretty much everybody I was seeing on the offensive side. And you saw that spill over into game one against Mass. I mean, he had I think he had 5 catches for 89 yards and 2 TDs.
Yeah. One of them was so good that we didn't see it.
Yep. Yep. What do you want to see them do, Justin?
Yeah.
What do you want to see the Sharks do this week that they didn't do last time against Mass?
I think my biggest one, and we already said it, but my biggest one, got to reiterate it, definitely Tyler King. Got to get him the ball, man. If there's a crease and he can get through it, it could be a touchdown. And I think you need that. And football, like we know, is a game of momentum and momentum shifts and all that. And especially in the indoor game. And so a guy like him, he can swing the whole momentum. Having a rough start, Tyler King, boom, being able to hit him on a wheel route and also being able to motion him into run plays along with putting him in the backfield. It also stresses the defense. And, you have to account for it. And, not like Caleb had a bad game, but obviously there were some struggles with some reads. I think Tyler King, again, he helps clear the picture up. You have to honor him. A linebacker might not be sitting in the middle of the field as much if Tyler King's on a swing route. He's like, I got to be out there because I got to make sure I'm playing the inside half of him, and I got to be out there with this fast guy. So different things like that, using him can open up the field for everybody. And like we talked about Vander as well, he plays running back and receiver. So being able, with the motions, being able to do different things, you might start with 5 wide and then be able to bring it in to now you got a wide receiver, King to the same side set. So then that also puts stress on the defense because they're set to the same side. So a lot of things can be done, and I think he could open up the offense. I know you also brought Jimmy Robinson, and you're paying him, and you're going to give him his touches as well. But I think Tyler's got to get a lot more, and in a big game, that could be, having a couple 5 to 6 wrinkle plays with him in there could open it up.
I wouldn't mind seeing him in there with Jimmy. I would have no problem with Jimmy being running back and TK coming down on the high motion. I mean, that could be dangerous with the different RPOs and different things you could run, because then you're like, oh, do I pursue here and get Jimmy, who's led the league in rushing the last 2 years? If I do that, then I might leave TK open.
Only issue with that, and why I don't like it, just from an offensive line standpoint, when you bring TK in now, you bring in another guy in the box. So that, for me, that's why I don't like that personally. Because now you got another guy in the box. I like using it to spread them out and clear up the picture for Caleb personally.
Well, gents, take a little short break, then come back, talk about week 3 of the IFL. Pick'ems, get to see the standings.
See the standings.
Yeah, I don't want to see the standings because I already see the standings.
I know you don't want to see the standings.
No, I don't want to see it. I like stop the count. But after this short little break, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. We'll be breaking down week 3 of the IFL Pick'ems to see how smart we are this week and see how dumb I am. We'll be back after this short break.
The Jacksonville Sharks are your champions.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And week 3 of the IFL kicks off on Friday with Tulsa, Fisher, Saturday, Quad City, Iowa, Sunday, triple header. We're on playing Sunday, but the other 2 games, Rattlers travel to the Blizzards, Strike Force travel to the Bay Area Panthers. And yes, let's put up the standings. Yes, gents, I got to put up the standings of the Pick'em. And here is the Pick'em so far. Last week, both Bob and Justin went 4-2, and they are tied at 6-3. And look at me, I'm Mr. 500 and 4-5 in the season. You can call me Jeff Fisher, because the only thing I can do for you guys is just about 500 football. That's how I am in my Pick'em so far this season. So
I can't believe Justin's tied with me.
And you watch way more games.
It's usually what happens, man. It's usually what happens. It happens like the people usually don't watch all the games, get the best records in Pick'ems. It has that with fantasy football too. They don't watch it. They just like, oh, this name looks cool. Start, and they end up getting big. So you had something unique to do with this, Bob. How you want us to do Pick'em this week?
I figured we could do a thing called around the IFL. We'll break it down in 30 seconds or less, and kind of get us out of here a little quicker.
Oh, okay. All right. So first game, let's start with you. Well, let's start with Bob. You get the first one. Fisher, Oilers, Friday night.
Man, I'm torn on this game, honestly. I'm torn on this game because Freight's first game at home ever. It looks like they're going to have 6,000 or 7,000 people in that stadium. Give me Fisher Freight with the upset for the home opener.
Oh, here we go. Yes, we go. Justin?
I'm gonna go with Fisher. The first game in there, you're gonna be crunk as a player. They're gonna be playing their hearts out.
They've been waiting 2 years for this. They've been announced for 2 years.
Fisher, they're gonna come. They're gonna come. They'll go get that.
Make that a three-peat. Fisher Freight. I think they have the energy. A lot of questions still on Tulsa, and one thing I noticed about last week against San Antonio, they couldn't stop a semi-mobile quarterback if he decided to run. Wright is nothing but a mobile quarterback, and I think the energy is going to be popping in that building. So I don't know. Justin, let's break down your matchup or the next game on the docket. Quad City traveling to Iowa. Daquan Neal going to the Barnstormers. Take on Dave Mogensen's Iowa Barnstormers.
I think we got Quad City. You know, they're not. They look like they can be good, but I'm still, I still don't think they've played anybody good yet. So, once they play somebody good, we'll see. Iowa's middle of the pack didn't impress me. I watched like the first quarter of that game, and didn't impress me. I'm gonna go Quad City.
I'm going Quad City mainly because of Neil, because he is the one guy that's playing pretty well. And I love that linebacker too, Bubba. I can't say his last name, but number 10. He had a pick 6 last week. I like that linebacker too. I'm not a fan. His name is Bubba. I'm not a fan of Iowa this year. I know Jim's going to pick Iowa, but I just don't see it.
Iowa.
Well, not so fast. Iowa only lost by 5 points to a team in Green Bay that was beating the crap out of them all game. They fought hard and came back almost. They got an onside kick. It would have been a very interesting game. Quad City has 2 wins. But you look at the point differential, they've only outscored their opponents by 5 points. So they're in games, both games. It's in Iowa. I like the chances for Iowa. But Quad City's too much, in my opinion. Neil is going to.
Oh, you were talking them up so good.
I know. I want to pick Iowa, but
Iowa beat Green Bay, while Quad City beat Mass.
It's
but Neil, same, but different.
Neil what makes it go up on Quad City.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you that.
I think Iowa's going to have a good team. I think they're just going to have a slow start. I have a feeling Iowa's going to be this year's Tulsa team, or last year's Tulsa team. Slow start, catch on fire at the end of the year.
Okay.
I like their dudes. They actually how they played against Green Bay really showed what type of team they are.
Wouldn't they get you an Iowa shirt?
I do like their helmets.
I don't like their helmets.
It's traditional, man. It's old school. Come on. And okay, well, I'll break down the first one on the Sunday triple header. Rattlers at Blizzard. Hashtag breaking news. The Blizzard are actually playing somebody from the Western Division.
Oh, they're actually not playing Tulsa, Quad City, or Sioux Falls?
Like
they played those three teams last year, like 10 times combined?
Yeah. And unfortunately, they're playing against a team that looked like almost a near perfect machine last week against Tucson and the Arizona Rattlers. Dalton Snead looked good. That defense looks explosive. I look at this game. I see Green Bay be very competitive, but I see Arizona making the plays at the end. I think Arizona wins a close one in Green Bay. Bob?
I think Arizona's going to win by 10 to 12 points in that range.
Wow.
I do. Now I can tell you Green Bay did get some help. They activated Ballard, wide receiver, off of short-term IR. They re-signed their linebacker that they had last year, Jalen Johnson. So they got some help, but I just think Arizona's defense is really good. Plus, I have Arizona's defense in fantasy. So I guess I got to cheer for Arizona a little bit on that.
That's the reason why.
So,
Justin, who you got?
Football.
I'm gonna go Rattlers. Snead. I know Tucson looked bad. I'm not gonna lie, but they still were dominant. They still put up the 50 plus points. So I'm gonna definitely go Rattlers. Green Bay beat Iowa, who we're not impressed with. I'm not impressed with. So I think Rattlers will come out. Green Bay is definitely going to fight. Got some activation. Ballard will help keep it close, but Rattlers and Snead going to go take care of it.
Wow, I'm the only one that's high on Iowa this year. Okay, well, we'll revisit this conversation later in the year. And also, hopefully, maybe probably not, but still, I'll have high hopes. If there's a will, there's a way. There's hope. Whatever. The second game of the triple-header on Sunday, the Vegas Nighthawks travel to the Jacksonville Sharks. Do we really have to pick them all three? Sharks. Bob?
No. Yeah, I'm picking the Sharks.
Okay.
Justin's picking the Sharks?
Yeah.
Yeah, he put the finger up.
Okay, I'm going to make sure. I know his favorite player in the IFL is on the Vegas. His homeboy.
Yes, I have multiple players that I've been on the gridiron, and we were in the CFL together too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and capping it off on a Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, San Diego looks at bounce back after their loss to Vegas, and Bay Area looks to try to get their first win against the Strike Force after their loss to San Antonio. Strike Force, Panthers. Justin, who you got?
I think the Strike Force. The Panthers only getting 28 points in that first game to the Gunslingers, who again lost a close game. I wasn't impressed with the Gunslingers, coming out there. So I think.
Are you the one that got their coach fired?
No. I think San Diego, just because Vegas is a solid team, San Diego came out with some fire. They played pretty well, and I think they're going to come back fired up. Not gonna let up, and they definitely got a fire lit on under them, giving up one of the most embarrassing losses. They all the non-hustle plays, all that stuff got picked out on the board and talked about, and people got embarrassed in film sessions all week. So I think I'll go San Diego.
It's tough because San Diego to me had a great first half and a horrible second half. Bay Area to me underperformed from what I expected. I expected Bay Area to perform a lot better, but for some reason they didn't. I don't know if it's new quarterback coming over from Northern Arizona, Josh Jones. I didn't think he played well, but I guess I'm gonna go with San Diego. I'm gonna go with San Diego because of what he said. When a grown man gets called out, that kind of does something to you. And there's been a lot of chatter about was San Diego the new Atlanta Falcons? Are we 28-3? And that's kind of what kind of situation you had there
In week 1?
Well, I'm just saying that
Jeez, that's kind of harsh for week 1.
When you have a team down, you have to step on the throat and knock them out. You can't allow them to come back in the game. Anybody that's ever played football or been around it knows if you let a team hang around, they're going to come back and beat you. And I just think San Diego is going to be a little upset. So I'll go San Diego.
Not so fast, my friend. Bay Area pulls off the upset, the end the weekend, because here's the reason why. I think what we see in the second half is San Diego is something of a signs of things to come for them, the Strike Force. One thing I know about Bay Area, their defense was pretty decent. Their defense didn't put them in bad situations. Their offense couldn't score. Problem is, if San Diego's offense gets out to a start like they did last week, Bay Area might be an issue, in trouble. But I can't
and this
say
is why
San
you're
Diego.
4-5.
Hey, I don't care, man. Like, I'll just say this:
Make your picks.
There's been a team in this industry that went to the playoffs at 4-10 and won the whole dang thing. So hey, don't get mad at me because I picked someone else. Besides, if I said San Diego, we all picked the same picks. Ain't no fun in that.
Yeah.
Come on. Bay Area wins the cap off a Sunday night. But I'll be too energized after a big win from our Sharks in VyStar Veteran Memorial Arena, so I really won't mind if Bay Area doesn't win. As long as the Sharks get a dub.
I wish those games, the other Sunday games, are on Saturday, because I think the Arizona Green Bay can be a good game. I think Green Bay is going to hang around till about early fourth quarter, and I think that's when Arizona is going to do something to get pushed ahead. And then I think the San Diego Bay Area game could be a potential really good game back and forth as well.
Correct.
So I wish those games were on Saturday. Good news is we do have a game tomorrow, though.
Tomorrow night, Freight, Tulsa, Eastern Conference clash. Actually, the first 2 nights of the Eastern Conference games that we will pay attention to. Of course, we
Yep.
got our game against the Vegas Knights. Before we leave, remember we have a raffle going on for a Jacksonville Sharks helmet. $1 for 1 ticket, $20 for 25 tickets, just like that beautiful red and black helmet. Just don't put the helmet on, Bob, because we tried that in the
Yeah, it
green
doesn't
room,
fit.
and it didn't fit. How just
It's a large helmet.
hey, and also to the 4th and gold, we're past $26,000. I think Bob said we're at 26,200. The link is in our description, or you can visit the Jacksonville Sharks website
You
to
know,
click.
you know what? Why don't the rest of the IFL teams start piggybacking on this Leo thing? It would be really cool if the other teams in this league would get behind childhood cancer and get behind Leo like this. If we can get a little exposure. I know there's some other fan bases out there watching it, but guys, go to the Sharks page, share it.
Yeah.
Let's try to get
And-
over 30 before game time.
And
But
how
I
about
mean,
this? Inside the Walls, Inside the Sharks has already donated.
Yep.
Our $100. The Sharks have been behind it. Now let's challenge the first team to match at least our donation of $100. We challenge you, Vegas Nighthawks.
Or what
Donate
about
to-
another podcast? There's other podcasts out there.
Oh yeah, and there are a couple
Smoking
of them are
Guns, Smoking Guns podcast. We have a podcast branded. Ralph's watching. You don't got to give the amount, but let's give $5-10. If you go to Starbucks and spend $6-8 on a coffee on a name you can't even say, then
Or
you
Chick-fil-A.
could go ahead and skip it and do this. But yeah, let's get the word out there, guys. I mean, this is a great. If you didn't watch our show this past Monday, go back and rewatch it. We had Leo's mom on. We had the director of 4th and Gold on, Aaron Tracy. Out of all the money that the government sends, it's the thing that blew me away. Out of all the money the government sends, only 3.5% is for childhood cancer. That's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And we all know that cancer sucks, so help donate Leo's cause, because the main goal is simple: to eliminate cancer, period. Donate today.
Yep.
So yeah, we can do. What was that challenge that happened like 5-10 years ago where the ice bucket, what was that for?
I think it was for like a veteran suicide awareness or something like that. It was the ice bucket
Just start a
challenge or
like
something.
that. Yeah, just start that
Yeah.
challenge.
Come on. These other fans said they're better fans. Let's see what they could do. Come on. We've raised almost a little over
$26,200.
$26,200. Can we get another $4,000 from the rest of the IFL and hit 30 by Sunday night? Let's see.
Possibly. That's possible.
I just know other fan bases watch our stuff. I see it all the time.
Well, Renfro, any final words, my friend?
He's like disappeared.
Let's
He's
go
gotten shorter.
Sharks.
He's too busy doing his homework for Sunday.
Let's
Are
go
you ready?
Sharks.
Are you ready to be back in the booth?
Oh yeah, ready. See the Nighthawks. See some old faces. Excited. See Dante kicking. You'll see Williams there playing DB, and then we'll see the
Basically
whole
an
new Sharks.
Edmonton reunion.
Yeah, it is. It's literally the Edmonton Nighthawks with Terry. The Edmonton Nighthawks plus Terry coming to.
That just sounds like a bad sitcom. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but no, it will be fun. Be good to be back in the Shark Tank, and be good to see the new team live. Get down on the field, see how big the guys really are, size them up, and see some old faces as well. So we'll see.
Bob?
If you're at the game, come say hi on Sunday.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to game Sunday. If you come to say hi, make sure it's at halftime or at the end of the game. Don't interrupt me during the game.
Touche.
But it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be an emotional night with Leo and Leo's parents and brother and sister there. I mean, that's going to be a little emotional, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. We've already seen some new glimpses of some new things. We got a new blimp going around, a light up blimp. Hopefully, nobody pulls this one down, does anything like that. So we've already seen that. Remember, the merchandise stand is going to be moved over to section 100, behind section 100. Remember, you have bring your friend passes. Got to use them in the first 4 games. And remember, Shark Bites tomorrow, 7 o'clock, Action News Sports Network. And then same thing on the game. If you can't make it to the game, but if you can't make it to the game, then watch it on there. And
Will they
listen to
replay
this
the
guy.
games? Will they replay the games at like 3 a.m. or something for people?
I think they probably will. If you have the IFL
but-
network, you just go on the archives.
Okay.
You know,
Also, for the fans who don't know what section 100 is, if you see the Jacksonville Sharks bench, it's that section right behind them, so you know where the merchandise stand is. It's basically on the opposite end of the arena where it was last year.
Yeah.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, game Sunday, gates open what, at 5?
5 an hour early. You got Shark Fest. Visit the tables. Other sponsors out front there. Make sure you get there a little bit early. Make sure you buy 50-50 raffles for Leo. You can do that now. You don't have to wait. Or you could, some people think they have better odds if they buy now and buy at game time. Get different numbers. So make sure you do that. But tell somebody, bring somebody. Ain't nothing else going on in town in Jacksonville on Sunday night. Let's get some
And it's
Sunday night football.
It's Sunday night football.
It's a Sunday night party.
That's Monday.
And then if we win, Justin's taking us to the bar and he's buying everybody drinks.
What do they have?
He's gonna buy everyone separate hills. That's what he.
I haven't seen anything yet about an after get together like they used to do. I haven't seen anything.
I'll find a place.
Oh, he'll find a place.
As long as I got lemon drops.
And Bob's gonna find a place. I'll find a place. Hopefully that we come on here Monday. It's a victory Monday for your Jacksonville Sharks. But remember, toe hits leather, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern, VyStar Veteran Memorial Arena. The Sharks and the Nighthawks. Sunday night football in Duval. Bob?
Duval,
Duval, yeah.
No, that's it, man. Go Sharks. Come out to the game. Support your team. Please like this, share this, subscribe. We appreciate it. Over 13,000 views for the month of March for this podcast. So we just want to say thank you to that. He even had longest, what was it, about 20-minute wait for people? Average time they sat on here and watched us?
About 20 minutes, yeah.
About 20 minutes. So, I mean, that's pretty good. So we appreciate all the support. And y'all have a good night. And just always remember, mass is trash.